man. Yeah, so thank you for coming on. I don't know if you listened to a couple of episodes before or anything, but it's kind of just talking about your story, talking about your situation, if you're still going through it or if you're over it, and then any advice you can kind of give other dads going through something like this. So if you want to start off,
Oh,
introduce
man.
yourself and kind of jump in and talk a little bit about your story.
Yeah, of course, man. My name is Collin. I'm 20 years old. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. My son is 16 months old now. But pretty much, man, I met my son's mother when I was 18, she being 20. And, we were it was me looking for something when I shouldn't have been looking for something, when I should have just been loving myself instead. And at that point, I was just mentally at a low point, just trying to find something, trying to find anything to feel. And I was her rebound of a 6-year relationship, man. And we were together for 2 months. During that time, we did what we do, and uh, pregnancy ensued. And
Within two
so
months of being with
basically,
her? Yeah.
yeah, man, it was yeah. You're young, I
Right.
couldn't pull out of a driveway back then, so it's like,
Yep.
but at that point, I didn't have a stable living situation. I didn't even have a car to my name. I do now, but I had it that my son, when I found out she was pregnant, that lit a fire under my butt cheeks, man, because I had nothing going for me. I went and applied at Walmart, got my job, saved up for this car, but we
Good
had
for you.
thank you, man. She had during the pregnancy, she was in talks with her old dude, and I couldn't really stop it because we weren't together, and I was just all like, it's none of my business and it's none of my concern. You a grown woman, you know what I mean? But she started getting wishy-washy and started taking more away from me, because at the beginning of the pregnancy, she was saying, that is your child, that is your child. And
Yeah.
even when I was all like, can we get a paternity test in the womb, she was all like, I can't believe you'd even ask me for a paternity test.
Come on.
It is what it is, man. So yeah, months progressed. I got uninvited from the baby shower.
So
I
so
was at
you
the
guys
gender
aren't even
reveal.
you guys aren't even together
Nah,
after you just slept together. You guys weren't even a couple.
we
Or you were
were
a
a
couple for a
couple
couple months.
for a couple
Yeah,
months,
okay,
man.
okay.
Yeah, but so yeah, man. Like, she uninvited me from the baby shower. She uninvited my entire family, and my son
Wow.
was born December 29th, and I didn't catch word of it until December 31st, because yeah, she
No
didn't even tell me.
way.
She didn't tell anybody. Yeah, I
Was
found out
was
she changed her profile.
was she playing it
My
off
fault. Go
like it
ahead,
was
King.
the other guy's baby or what?
No. Well, at first she was saying, for the first like 2 trimesters, she was like, that is your child.
Yeah.
And then at the third trimester, she was all like, is this dude's child? He was at the baby shower, and he was at
Damn.
her baby cousin's sweet 16. So it was just crazy, man.
Yeah.
And then I found out she gave birth because you know how, even though you're blocked on Instagram, you can still see when they update their profile pictures and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah. It's her
Yeah,
holding the baby or something. That's
yeah,
wild.
exactly that. Yeah, and I was, even though I had a job, and I just didn't have enough money for a paternity lawyer at the time. So I did what
Right.
anybody who wanted to get a paternity test would do. I applied for child support services the month that he was born, and I waited for 6 months. And during those 6 months, I would text her. I limited my conversations with her to only being about a paternity test. But unbeknownst to my knowledge, for those 6 months, she was screenshotting every time I asked for a paternity test and submitting it to the local police department
Oh,
for a
saying it's like
harassment claim.
harassment? Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say
Hmm.
that's not that bad. You know what I mean? But damn.
Yeah. What was the set in stone was, and this ultimately gave the police enough evidence for harassment, and ultimately shut down my child support case, was one on Father's Day, actually, because I ended up finding out, once I ended up hiring a paternity lawyer, and they pulled out all the evidence. Well, not the paternity. So I'll get there when I get there,
Yeah.
brother. But hold on, man. She signed a waiver of genetic testing on Father's Day, man, and legally acknowledged that other dude is my son's father. And even at that point, I never gave up because I saw the
Good.
resemblance, man. Like I
Good for
was,
you. How, let me let
thank you,
me let me
man. Like
ask you, how old are you? Because you look pretty young.
I'm 20, man.
20 years old, and you. Let me tell you, most 20-year-olds would be like, "Fuck it, I'm out. I'm gonna go live my life. I'm gonna do whatever." Good for you for being like, "I'm gonna own up to not what I did, but I'm gonna own up. Let's fucking. I got a son. I know it's mine, and I'm gonna do the right thing." Good for you. Damn, for
I
being that
had to,
young.
man. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have my dad, so it was a
Yep.
promise I made to myself.
Good for you.
Thanks, man. It was so yeah, after that I made music and then I met this producer through the Instagram comments. We ended up he sent me a beat. He ended up went to the studio, recorded something. He ended up liking it. Flew me out to California on a round trip just to see if I liked it. He's all like, if you like it, come back out here. So I did. I went back out there a week later and I stayed out there for 3 months while I busted my butt. Just saving up money for a paternity lawyer, just getting my headspace right because at that point I had been gaslighted and
Oh yeah.
manipulated. I didn't even know what gaslighting was until this lady, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I went out to San Diego. Thank God for Prop 22 because I'm still a DoorDash driver at this point. But yeah, man, I went out there, came back, got the paternity test, or hired my paternity lawyer. We served her. Turns out like we had to serve both parties, so it took 3 times to get her, and then 6 tries to get the dude because she
Since
sent
since
him to
he
live in Colorado.
Right. So since he essentially is the father, or signed on paper that he's the father, you then have to have his approval too, right? Yeah. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and she sent him to go live with his mama in Colorado. But I pay for this subscription for public info services because I've been dedicated, man. Like
Yeah. It
I have a
sounds like
sister
it.
that I haven't seen since I was 6.
Yeah.
So it's like I got ties to this. So I went and found out where his mama lives, gave him the processing server the information. They reached out to the Colorado processing servers for the local city, ended up getting him served right before the deadline before I they had to move my court date. So I was beyond grateful for that,
Yeah.
man. And then October came along. November 1st, I take the paternity test, and I have never seen that much nines before in my life.
Damn.
It was a good feeling. And after that, my paternity lawyer, because me and my son's mother was planning so that way I can meet him before his birthday. But my paternity lawyer calls me, says, "Hey, dude, you got a warrant out for your arrest for harassment." So I
Oh, for
figured
that
that out.
bullshit. Wow.
Yeah. So I go ahead and hire my defense lawyer. And that's how I find out all the evidence they submitted because my defense lawyer pulled out. He was able to review all the evidence that they submitted, and that was it. That was it. Just
Yeah.
me asking for a paternity test and that
Did
waiver of
did they
genetic
drop it, or
testing.
did you get in trouble for that?
No, I bet. Okay, so I was the prosecution team. They were gonna. I was gonna fight it. I was
Oh,
gonna fight it
absolutely.
because I wanted to
It's
put her in the
bullshit.
court. Yeah, but I just didn't have the money to keep doing it, and they had offered me pretrial diversion, which is basically like a formal handshake. All I had to do was take a 4 hour anger management course and a life skills course, which it was demoralizing. But I found out like I didn't even have to take a test. I just had to like sit AFK
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
four
Yeah.
hours. So that was good. And then I just got to donate $165 to the food bank, which I definitely don't mind. It's going to a good cause.
But yeah, but it's just bullshit that you need, like, because you don't have the funds to keep going through court and keep going through all that bullshit, that's what they make you do. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's going to a good cause,
Yeah,
yeah, it's whatever, but anger management, you didn't have anger problems. You were fucking trying to figure out if this was your kid or not. So it's like those
most
steps is just
definitely.
bullshit, but keep going, my bad.
Although you do bring up valid points, man, and I was definitely feeling the same way, if not more heated, bro. But I had to look at it like
Absolutely.
like I had to take the positives from it. So,
Yeah.
whereas if I kept fighting this, and even if I proved my innocence, I would have had to wait a year for it to get expunged from my record.
Yeah.
Whereas when I got accepted this pretrial, it gets expunged from my record the week after I complete pretrial, and pretrial ends on the 22nd of this month. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah.
So At this point, right now, I am meeting my son. I have a temporary court order for visitation, 1 hour Saturday and 1 hour Sunday, just because of how young my son is and he's never met me. Well, he has met me now, but
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, I'm just working my way up, keeping it cordial. My best advice to any fathers out here right now, man, that are just like that have problems like that are just limited to monitored chats like App Close or My Parent Wizard, Family Wizard. Keep it cordial, bro. Keep it only about your kids, bro. If she's trying to bring it up something else, bro, just leave her on red. Just leave her on red
Now, did she try to
because
fight any of this in court? Like, is she trying to not have you have the baby?
she posted that she was gonna fight it, but she's not fighting it right
Yeah.
now, to my knowledge. She told my when my lawyer called to try and when we were trying to get a paternity test, he called her and it said, would you consent to a paternity test? She said she never met me and that I was just some stalker
Oh
that had been
wow.
harassing her. Yeah,
See,
so
see
he
at
told
that
me that, and I started laughing.
at that point though, once you proved that you are the father, she should get in trouble for some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like dragging this on, calling the police for harassment, saying she doesn't know you, doing all this bullshit. At some point, she needs to get punished for like all of this. You know, it was a waste of time and a waste of money and all
I agree,
resources,
man.
everything. So it's just crazy that they can do that and get away with it, and it's fine.
Most definitely,
Yeah.
man. But what it is it's a testament to character. Because like, if you're just a good dude, and you
Right.
know that like, even though it's not fair that she might not get in trouble for all this, like was true will surface, and
Yeah.
the work that you put in will show. It will show a judge that you want to be in your son's life, and especially if you're constantly trying to improve yourself, your financial situation, your credit score, your mental situation, bro.
Yeah.
Like anything that looks good on paper
Oh,
is going
absolutely.
to bless you.
Now, what happened
Yeah.
with the with her man that she had? What happened with that?
So crazy thing is, bro, the first year that I was fighting, this dude would text me. I wouldn't really text back, but he would text me and just be like, "Give up, give up,
Damn.
give
Yeah.
up," literally. And I was getting death threats from him and and her father. So that was, is I was. But after that, man, they split,
Right.
and
Right. Well, because essentially
she,
now he has no ties with her.
yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently she had dude on child support too. So I was all like, Jesus.
Damn.
But yeah, man, I honestly hold no quarrels against the dude
Yeah.
because, like, for all he knew, that was his child. So I
Exactly.
can't really be.
Good for you, man. You
It's her.
fucking good for you for 20 years old. Damn. You got your head on
Trying,
right.
man. Thank you, man. It's screwed as tight as it could be.
That's good.
But yeah,
So
man.
everything right now is like you're still just going through the process, working your way up for more time, and is Texas 50-50 state? Like, are you going for 50-50? What are you going for?
I'm working my way up to 50-50.
Yeah.
Texas is a
Okay.
mother state. So right now, the best I'd be getting is 30-70 right now.
Yeah. And
So
how far apart do you
it's
live
something
from that woman?
like 15 minutes away,
Oh,
man. So it's not
okay. Yeah.
really
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And that was crazy because she back during the pregnancy, she like, I'm in New Mexico. I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, if I could just give any advice to the dads that are just going through it, like it gets better. It gets better. It feels like hell when you're going through it, and it feels like it's just the end of the world, but it's not, man. Like there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Just keep fighting for what you believe in, and if it's not your child, then you have an opportunity to just like if you're fighting for that paternity test and that's not your child, you take it as you dodged a bullet, not from the baby, but from that woman.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's so true. It's like if you keep going, you keep fighting, it's only going to get better and better. You know, it definitely sucks. A lot of men are going through it, and you know, I'm 6 years in, and I'm like, fuck. But it's only going to get better. So that's definitely some
For
great
sure.
advice for sure.
Man, I gave my advice, Dan. You got any advice for me, man?
Yeah, well, I mean, it seems like it's pretty, you're already going through the court system, because one of the big things I tell dads is write everything down. Don't react to any of the text messages or bullshit that they say, and just bring it to court. You know what I mean? You have to deal with it through the court system. So, but it looks like you're already on a good track, which is great. I think we lost you for a
They got
second.
pro.
Oh, there we go.
You got me?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I I have my slip ups. I mean, I don't expect every dad to be perfect, but you just have to remember, like, you have to keep it cordial. Like, you can. I mean, I'm not saying like it's bad to slip up or it's good to slip up, but you're human. You know what I
Right.
mean? If you act out of emotion after months of just being disregarded and not, especially if she's not confirming visits and just not giving you the reason why. That's why I got smart with her, and I
Yep.
was just all like,
And that's
but
tough
then I was
too.
just like, yeah,
Yeah.
it is definitely tough because as a parent, you feel caged and you just like you want to speak out against the abuse.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's essentially that's
But
what this podcast is. You know, we're having, dads and fathers, whatever, speak out and kind of tell their story, because you can't really, a judge doesn't want to hear it. They don't want to hear about your bullshit. And just like you said, you got to put the important things down on paper. The judge doesn't care that she's saying this, doing this, doing this. You got to say, I'm a good dad. I'm working. I have a car. I have an apartment. I can take care of this kid. Those are the things that they want to see. They don't care about the bullshit text messages. Oh, she was saying this and blah, blah, blah. So,
I want to see that you're trying to make a better you for your children.
yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Awesome.
man.
Well, it sounds like you're doing that, man. And thank you very much for coming on and sharing your story.
Man, thank you for having me. I'm definitely gonna check this podcast out way more because
Word.
this is my first time. When you hit me up saying
Uh,
you want to be on the podcast, I was like, yeah,
I was surprised. Yeah. You were right up there. You were like, let's get it. Um,
yeah, man. I just like it. I like using my voice and trying to help out other people, not just for this situation, but for a lot of things,
yeah,
man.
definitely, man. Thank you for coming
Cool,
on,
bro.
bro. That was a good podcast. Nice. It was nice and quick, and I think some dads are gonna take some good advice away from it. And it just blows my mind that you're 20 years old already thinking like this. Yeah, that's fucking awesome, man. You're doing great.
Thank you, boss. I appreciate you having me, Dan. It was been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure conversing with you, man, and just being able to talk about what I've been going through.
Awesome. Awesome, man. All right. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, dude.
Later.